This week we're going to be talking about chronological order, which is time order, or telling things in the order that they happen. We're going to be focusing on nonfiction text, and we'll talk more in a minute about what that means. But first, let's review sequence of events. We've discussed the sequence of events a lot so far in first grade, and we've used this chart to help us. It says that stories often have a similar structure. Authors organize stories in a way that will entertain readers. So a lot of the stories that we've read have had a clear beginning where the characters have a problem. And then in the middle, the characters are trying to solve the problem. And at the end, we find out how the problem is finally resolved or fixed. All of these make up the story's plot. They're all the most important events in a story. This is true for fiction stories, stories that have made up characters and events. A lot of the stories we've read in first grade have been fiction, like Bluebird and Coyote, and they have characters that are made up, like the bluebird and the coyote that was green and wanted to be blue. They have problems that they're facing. Both characters in that story wanted to find out how to become blue. And then at the end, you find out whether or not they solved the problem. Bluebird did in fact turn blue. Coyote did not, and we find out why. This week, we're going to talk about something that's very similar. It's called chronological order or time order, and we use this to discuss nonfiction text, or books that are real and they tell, inform, teach, and explain. So these are going to be books about real life people or real life animals, real life things that happen. But we can still tell the story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, using words like first, next, then, finally, and last. And it says events can be told in chronological order. This is the order that events happened from beginning to end. So if you think about your day, that's real life. In the beginning of the day, you wake up. In the middle of the day, you come to school or you do your schoolwork at home. And at the end of the day, you go back to bed. So real life does follow a certain order, just like our make-believe stories did. So as we are working this week, we're going to pay attention to how the authors use chronological or time order to help us understand what order things really happened in these real life or nonfiction texts.